In Chapter 2, we are going to be graphing lines. So to start, we're just going to introduce the coordinate plane, and a lot of this will be review for you, and that's fine. Okay, so the coordinate plane is often divided with these two lines here. They're called axes. Okay, one of these is the x-axis. The one going across is called the x-axis, and I'm going to label that. The axis that goes up and down is called the y-axis. Okay, the point at the very center where the two axes meet is called the origin. Okay, the coordinates of the origin are 0, 0. It's where you always start when you're plotting a point. Okay, when you plot an ordered pair, we always list it as x, comma, y. And x is always the sideways distance along the x-axis, and the y is the y distance on the y-axis. Okay, the last little vocabulary is going to be the quadrants. Okay, I'm going to draw an x and a y-axis. And you can see that this gets divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 areas, and they're called quadrants. Okay, when you name the quadrants, we start on the top right, and then it makes a C shape. So in the top right, this is quadrant 1, and we often use Roman numerals for this. And then if I go around like a C this way, that's the order of the quadrants. This is quadrant 2. I go down to quadrant 3. And then for a 4 in Roman numerals, it's IV. Okay, if you would rather not use Roman numerals, you can use the normal numbers. This is quadrant 1, quadrant 2, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. Okay, so for the first example, we're going to plot some points. If you happen to have a graph paper notebook, then you're going to have, this will be super convenient for you. If you don't, then I'm going to kind of make my little axes. Okay, let me look at these points. The highest number is 5. So let me make sure I have 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my y-axis around here. And if you're just doing a sketch, we'll do a sketch in your book. Okay, I'm going to make that my y-axis. And then in the middle, I'm going to make my x-axis. How about right here? Okay, and if you have a graph paper notebook, this is much easier to work with. Okay. Now remember, ordered pairs come in the format x, comma, y. So the first one is going to tell you how far to the side to go, and the other one's going to tell you how far up. So for A, it's positive 1, positive 2. If you go positive in the x direction, we go to the right. We have positive 2, positive in the y direction is up, and I always start from the origin. Here's the origin. The directions the ordered tell tells me is go right 1, up 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's where I'm going to put my point, and it says to label the point, so I'm going to put a little A next to it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead to B. Let's see, B, the first is the x, since it's negative. Negative x is to the left. The y is positive, so I go up, and I do start from the origin every single time. So from the origin, left 2, 1, 2, up, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go ahead and put my point, and I'm going to label it as B. Okay, let's go to C. Okay, C, let's see. Oh, it has 0. Okay, so I don't go to the side at all. Okay, but the y value is positive 5. So I'm still going to go positive 5 in the y direction, which is up. So from the origin, I don't go to the side at all, but I do go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's point C. Okay, I'm going to keep going. If you're ahead of me, that's fine. Okay, let's see. D, negative 5 in the x direction is left. Negative 1 in the y direction is down, and from the origin, left 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down 1 puts me down here. What was that, D? D. Okay, I'm going to keep going again. If you're ahead, it's fine. Okay, E, x direction, positive 3, y direction, negative 1. So right and down, and from the origin, 1, 2, 3, down 1. E, let's go to F. Okay, the x is negative 4, so I go left. The y is 0, so I don't go up or down. Okay, so from the origin, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't go up or down. Mark my point. Okay, G, x is negative, y is negative. From the origin, negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. Okay, last point, H, positive x, negative y. So from the origin, positive 1, negative 4. Okay, and if you worked ahead, just make sure your points look like they're about in the right place. Now the next example is just asking in which quadrant is each point located. So I don't actually have to graph it, I just need to tell which quadrant it is. And if you forgot which quadrant is which, remember we start in the upper right-hand corner. This is 1. Then I go in a C direction. 2, 3, 4. And if you want to use the normal 1, 2, 3, 4, that's fine. Okay, that was just to remind myself when I do these, I don't have to actually graph it. I just have to think about this. So you don't have to show any work for this. Okay, so for A, I'm going to go left 7 and up 3. Okay, if I start at the origin, I go left 7. I don't know how far 7. I go up 3. Okay, if I look and see what quadrant did I end up in, I ended up in quadrant 2. So all I have to do is write quadrant 2. Okay, don't got to show work. I just have to think about it. Okay, I'm going to go for B, I'm going to go right 6, up 2. I don't actually have to go right 6, I just have to imagine I am going to. Okay, right 6, up 2. Where do I end up? Quadrant 1. Okay, let's try 9. Right, down. Okay, from the origin, I go right 9, down 1. I end up in quadrant 4. Okay, let's see this one. Left and down. And sometimes just knowing left and down is enough. Left 5, down 10, quadrant 3. Let's try right 5, up 80. Okay, right 5, up 80 is really high, but it's still quadrant 1. Okay, the last one is left and up. Okay, if I go left and up, I end up in quadrant 2. Okay, so just make sure you read directions on the problems. If it just asks what quadrant, then your answer is going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay, the last example for this section, we're going to determine whether each point is a solution for the given equation. Okay, so they give me this point 7,3, and they want to know, is it a solution for 5x plus 2y equals 41? Because this actually represents a line, even though we don't know that yet. What do they want me to do? They just want me to plug in. Okay, so if I look at the equation, there's an x and there's a y. So I'm going to plug in x and y. How do I know what x and y is? If I look at the ordered pair, the x always comes first, and the y always comes second. So my x is 7 and my y is 3. So I'm going to plug those values in. I'm going to bring down the rest, and then I'm going to see if it equals to what it's supposed to. So let's see, 5x, what's x? X is 7. Plus 2y, what's y? Y is 3. Let's evaluate this. 5 times 7 is 35. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, and then I need to show all my work because I'm trying to prove something. Is 35 plus 6 equal to 41? Yeah, 41 does equal 41. If you end up with something where it equals itself, then yes, this was a point that was on that equation or on that line. Okay, I'm going to try the same thing on B. They give me an equation that has x and y in it, and they give me an ordered pair, which tells me the x is going to be 5 and the y is going to be 3, and I'm going to just plug it in. 4 times x, which one was x? 5. Minus 2 times y. Now what's y? Y is 3. And I want to see if this equals to 10. And I am going to show my work because this is kind of like we're trying to prove something. 4 times 5 is 20. 2 times 3 is 6. Does 20 minus 6 equal 10? No, 20 minus 6 is 14. That doesn't equal to 10. So no, this point would not be a solution to that equation. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. Same idea, just has some negatives in it. Again, they give me x and y, and it's always in the right order. So 3 times x. What is x? X is negative 4. Plus, what's y? 7. Does that equal negative 5? 3 times negative 4 is negative 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, let's see. Negative 12 plus 7. Negative, it's going to be a negative answer. They're different signs, so I subtract. 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, it does equal what it's supposed to equal to. So yes, this was a solution to that equation. Okay, I'm going to do one more because it's just a little rearranged. But again, they gave me the x and they gave me the y. Okay, now I'm going to plug it in the equation. The first thing in the equation says y. What is y? Y is 7. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put a 7 here. 7 equals negative 2 times x. What is x? X is negative 2 plus 3. Okay, so the left side is actually the solved part. It's the right side I need to figure out. See, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 3. Does 7 equal 4 plus 3? Yes, it does.